Hulu and Blumhouse have teamed up for Into the Dark. It's a horror anthology where every month they roll out a brand new horror film. February 2019 edition is Valentine's themed, and it's called Down. Now, starting off, they've stolen the cover idea, or at least the font, from 10 Cloverfield Lane. So there's that going for it. Just the rest of the movie, I watch this crap so that you don't have to. The whole episode plays out in an elevator where these two co-workers get stuck in this malfunctioning elevator, and they're there over Valentine's Day weekend. It stars Natalie Martinez and Matt Lauria. There are two other characters that show up near the end of that, but they barely have any moments in there. So really, it's a two-person movie. And we've seen a bunch of these before where you have just two leads, and it can be executed really, really well. I mean, you can lay this out like a play. You know, you have a single scene, really, or at least a single backdrop where all of the action, all of the everything takes place. In that, things can be done really, really well. I mean, because you're claustrophobic, because especially in an elevator, I mean, you're confined by this, you know, what is it, 8 by 8, maybe 10 by 8, something like that. I mean, it's not a big amount of space. So you put two people in there in kind of a high tension scenario. I mean, the elevator has broken down. And so for them, you know, they don't know each other either. They're coworkers, but it's in a huge building. So they probably never even see each other. So how do they make a horror movie out of this? Well, to tell you that really spoils it. But also, I figured out in the first 13 minutes what the entire movie was, what the twist was, what the whole plot, what the ending was gonna be. I probably would have figured it out earlier, except I was on my phone. And it's so uninspired. It had potential, like it could have been good, and they didn't do it. And I don't know why. I mean, maybe they should just start making trailers instead of the actual shows. Because right now, most of the trailers for the Into the Dark series are way better than the movies actually end up being. Now, I don't know if that's because they're trying to push them out too fast and they're not developing them, or I don't know, maybe they're just working from weak scripts to begin with and nobody's saying, hey, you know what, let's pull back a little bit and let's really dive into this and make it really good. It almost feels like they're just rushing through things. The Into the Dark series is really good in concept because it's kind of like long-form Twilight Zone or longer-form Black Mirror. Just the execution has not been good. I mean, the leads in Down, they were fine. The acting is stilted, but it's not terrible. I mean, I think back to the very first episode in the anthology called The Body, and that acting was just, I mean, it was terrible. Like absolutely almost unwatchable, just horrendous. These are good actors. They have range, they can do something good. I don't think they were given much, and so they're working with what they have in the environment that they have, with the direction that they have, and kind of there you go. So far, Down is number 5 in the anthology series. If you're thinking of watching any of them and you haven't, I would watch the December episode called Puka. That one is creepy, it's weird, it's executed really well. Now it blatantly steals from a feature-length movie, but you don't know that until the very end. And you don't know which movie it is until the very end. And so that's okay. So I'm willing to forgive that a little bit, at least within the series itself. I mean, you know, if you're comparing Stupid with utter crap, then, well, Stupid is automatically like, ooh, that wasn't bad. But it's okay. I mean, it's definitely watchable, and it really does have a creep factor to it. All the rest of them have just been wasted. And so I would probably just steer clear. Actually, I would steer clear of Down. It's a waste of your time. It's a waste of your effort. There are plenty of other things to see. And, well, anything almost is better than this. There is sex, nudity, profanity, and violence. I give it 1 out of 5 couches, and that's just because the actors were putting in some effort. What is the worst movie you've ever seen? I'd love to know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share, subscribe, and tap that little bell notification icon because that lets you know when I upload new content. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies. Thanks for couching with me.